Good morning, friends. Welcome to Gardening with Creekside and this week's nursery tour. We have survived multiple freezes and frost here in North Carolina, and finally we are back to some sunshine and some warmer temperatures, and we have beautiful flowering annuals outside. We are beginning to transition these nice, cool, tolerant annuals from the greenhouse out here into the wide open spaces. So we're gonna have some fun today talking about what is growing, blooming, and thriving here at Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina, Zone 7B. Just to remind you, we're open Wednesdays through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. That is every day from now until late fall, because people keep asking me, are you open on this Saturday or this Wednesday or Good Friday? Yes, if it is a Wednesday through Saturday, we are open. We've done a couple of videos about cool tolerant plants, so I am giving you my official permission to begin planting some cool weather annuals. I myself am going to go ahead and start doing some Superbells, calibrachoas, little petunias here and there. Not big, huge, wide open areas, but like containers. There are certain containers that I want to start adding some color to. So as soon as I get a free moment, I am going to start doing that. Your cool tolerant plants, right? Your Supertunias. So here we have just started bringing them out. This is not all the Supertunias we have. This is just what's made it so far. So right here you see the beautiful, this is the Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. And it just lives up to its name. It's a nice, smaller flower, nice, vivid hot pink. It is not gonna be as aggressive as the regular vistas. Here we come to Royal Velvet. Royal Velvet is one of the most beloved because it has those nice big blossoms on it. Really rich, deep velvet color. It is a fantastic plant, tried and true, and just does wonderful. Next door, we have the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. This is relatively new on the market, and you can see it has that beautiful raspberry, kind of the pink to it. Gorgeous in mass. It is just a beautiful flower, does great, of course, like all the Supertunias in the landscape or containers. Then the new Supertunia Mini Vista Midnight, and you can see, I mean, it is dark. It is almost a black color. It is a very, very rich purple, but does a beautiful, I mean, it looks black, especially right here. And then next door is one of my absolute favorite plants, Supertunia Mini Vista White. White is just obviously a nice, solid, clear white flower on it. The mini vistas do wonderful in maybe smaller containers or window boxes where you don't want massive growth, you don't want massive trailing, like the vistas, nice and tight and compact, but will be covered in flowers. These have just started to put on some flowers, but all these little tippy tops, those are all buds. So lots of color on that. So Supertunias, you're good to go. You can go ahead and put them in your landscape. Here we have some of my favorites. These are Bidens. This is the Campfire Flame, a beautiful, nice, compact plant, gorgeous, really rich orange with some yellow in there. If you're looking to attract pollinators, this is a great one to do it. It is a really nice pollinator attractor, and Campfire Flame will be about 8 to 14 inches tall. And then next door we have the Goldilocks Rocks. It too is a Biden, but you can see really how different the blooms on it are, and this too will be 8 to 14 inches tall. You can see a little fella just landed on it right there. Then coming on down, this is where we're started to put in the Superbells, the calibrachoas. These are great plants, containers, hanging basket, window boxes. If you have heavy clay soil like me, or just heavy soil, calibrachoas really, excuse me, do not do really well in the landscape. Excuse me, I got a little froggy in my throat this morning. And that is because they hate to have wet feet. Now, if you live in like eastern North Carolina or low country South Carolina and you have really sandy soil that drains really, really well, then I have had customers say they do great in the ground for me. And that is because their soil is extremely well draining. So if you have those conditions, they'll work. If you're around these parts where I am, don't put it in the ground because you're going to be disappointed with how they do. But Look at them. I mean, they're gorgeous. The whole Punch series will have a deeper throat. That means the inside of it is a deeper color than the outside. This is the Blue Moon Punch, which is a beautiful shades of purple. Super gorgeous, really fun to pair with it. And then you have the Black Currant Punch. And Black Currant Punch is more of that magenta pink color to it. And truly it is, as far as just like your petunias and your Superbells, it's like, what color are you going for, right? It's not that one is better than the other. It's what is your color palette, what is the design you're looking to do. That's where you choose the one that maybe you want the most. Brand new to this year is the Superbells Prism Pink Lemonade. So incredibly fun because this plant changes colors. The blooms will come out more of a yellow and then they will transition to a pink. So if you can see, like right here, like see how yellow, and this is just a bud, of course, right? But they're yellow, and then like this is a great example. Right here, you've got a yellow bud and then a nice mature hot pink bloom on it. So they will, the plant itself and the flowers on the plant will change colors. It's great. Then of course yellow is always a classic because it really stands out. Honeyberry is really fun, pink and yellow. So this is just a small sampling. We've got tons more, of course, in the greenhouse. We're just starting to that transition of bringing things out. Let's talk about some perennials that you can, I don't think there's any perennial, well, maybe like echinacea or maybe some of the hot weather grasses, but as a whole, your perennials, you can go ahead and put in the ground. This is the perfect time here in the Southeast to put them in the ground before the heat hits. Now, look at this. This is Amsonia. This is String Theory. It is just now starting to put on some buds. String Theory is going to have, obviously, you can, by its name, and you can look at the foliage on it, is going to be very fine. It's like a thread leaf type Amsonia. And then it has, like all Amsonia, those beautiful, really nice, clear blue flowers. Now, String Theory is going to be 18 to 22 inches tall, so much more compact and manageable than the native Amsonia. And so this is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9. You want to talk about versatile plant? There are so many gardens in this country that can have this. Our friends up in Michigan who are zone 5 have horrible snowy winters. They can do this, as my friends who were in the deep south, zone 9, absolutely can do this. Really nice, and then it's going to be full to part sun. Fun thing too about the Amsonia is it has really nice, great fall color. So you get spring color, then summer interest with that beautiful thread-like foliage on it, and then fall color. If you're in my area, this is a wonderful shade plant. This is Heaven Sent, and all of these plants have been sitting out through all of our freezes and frosts the past couple of, week, 10 days that we've had, and look at them. They are gorgeous. I have this in 2 of my gardens. I did not cover them at all. I did nothing, and they look just like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Some people will mistake this for a fern because of its really fun, unique foliage. It's not a fern, and it is, I'm not even going to try to tell you how to say this. I will let Jerry go on there right here. So there you go. I just call it Heaven Sent. I'm sure you smarty pants out there know exactly how to, you can give me the pronunciation on that. It's just Heaven Sent. But on the tag, it'll say full sun to part shade. But it's hardy in zones 3 to 7. If you're in zone 3, absolutely, you can do full sun. Zone 5, play with it. Zone 7, 7B, zone 8, definite full shade. Ignore what this says and put it in the full shade. If you were to put this in the full sun, by probably June or July, it is going to be a brown, crispy plant. So from my experience, everything that I have grown, it needs the deep shade, and it can handle our deep shade and still flowers and is gorgeous. So lovely. Now, Baptisia. If you have been around me for any length of time, you know that I love Baptisia. This is a fantastic perennial. It is very long-lived. It is very low maintenance, but a beautiful spring color. And then for the rest of the season, you've got gorgeous foliage. Even some of our viewers have said that it makes great filler for like flower arranging because it has this really fun, beautiful texture to it on the leaves. We've got a ton of them as a general rule. Okay, for all Baptisia, it doesn't really matter on your specific cultivar. It's going to be full to part sun, so the more sun you can give it, the better. You're going to have stronger stems and more blooms. The size is going to range anywhere from like 2.5 to maybe 3.5 feet tall. It's more of a vase-like, so it's narrow at the bottom and then it comes up at the top. Spring bloomers, they're going to be hardy in zones 4 to 9. Again, very, very versatile for tons of different gardens. Yeah, and then of course, like most perennials, in the wintertime, it dies completely back. But here we have, it's like pick your color. What color you want, we got it. Blueberry Sunday is a gorgeous color. We have this in at the house in the gardens where the Gatsby gal bed is. So excited to see this one come up. Then probably my favorite, because I've had it the longest, is lemon meringue. Lemon meringue is just the classic. It is a beautiful solid yellow, beautiful lemon color. Mine is massive. The only thing you want to keep in mind with Baptisia is once it's established, it's going to be really hard to transplant because it has a very deep taproot. So kind of put it where you want it and know that it is going to fill in and be nice and big. Then we have, if you want a softer color, vanilla cream. Vanilla cream is I would say either like what you would call like French vanilla or an extremely pale yellow. So lots of colors on that. Some of them are not blooming yet, right? So you have different bloom times depending on the Baptisia. So like that is pink lemonade. It's not quite blooming yet. Then we've got dark chocolate. Look at dark chocolate. How fun is this? So it is a deep maroon, almost a black, has a little bit of a hint of yellow in there. So if you like the darker colors, you have something to pair off with it, that would be gorgeous. Then blue bubbly, look how fun blue bubbly is. Nice, cool color on that. Gorgeous, very soft. And then of course, so many people love the pink truffles, and it is a nice kind of a mauvey rose color, which is also just gorgeous. So depending on what color you want, that will determine kind of your cultivar that you're going to get. So lots of options for it. Great time to get them in the ground, as like with daylilies. Great time. If you get them in the ground, then you're gonna enjoy their blooms this year. Ajuga, if you were looking for a great ground cover, low maintenance, this is the black scallop. I have black scallop around my flagstone in my steps, and they are, you know about easy peasy? They are easy peasy. We're gonna keep on moving over here. Sure. Sounds good. All right. Hopefully we'll make it back to the into the greenhouse, but there is some things that I want to show you. Look at this. This is a container. I love doing containers here at the nursery and different display beds, so you can have an idea of maybe some things that you want to do at your house. This container is super simple. This is the Lemon Love Euchera. Great, wonderful species for us here in the Southeast. And then this is Ajuga. This is a different one. This is the Fancy Finch. And this has been in here, this Lemon Love has been in here for years. It was 2 years ago that I divided it and spread it out, and then we added the Ajuga. This can stay out year-round. It will give you year-round interest. It's very simple, but if you have a space you want to kind of fill in and do something really low maintenance, then this is a great option. Don't be afraid to put perennials in containers. They can handle it, especially if you choose, you can put basically any perennial in a container, just depends on where you're putting it. This gets a little bit of morning light, as you can see right now, then it's in the shade, then it gets hot afternoon sun. So that is, that's just a fun option for you. Now, talking about fun options, we have lilacs. So I know a lot of people wonder if we can do lilacs here in the South, and I always thought we could not until we tried out, this is the Bloomerang Dark Purple from Proven Winners. We did a test run last year, grew them out on the hot plastic, and lo and behold, next spring, covered in blooms. These have overwintered all winter right here, and you can see that they have buds on them. So if you're looking for a lilac, this is a great one. I would recommend, if you can do morning sun and afternoon shade, from personal experience, that it does the best. This is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 7. And again, it says full sun, but because we're on the borderline, I would say give it 6 hours of morning sun and then give it a break in the afternoon. Otherwise, you're going to see kind of a slow fade of your foliage in the heat of the summer. I love this camellia. This camellia is white by the gate. And white by the gate, you might remember, we're going to move that one out of the way. White by the gate is the one that I have growing on the espalier at the house. And white by the gate will get nice and big. It is a pure white japonica, gorgeous, massive, double pure white flowers on it. Can get 10 to 12 feet tall and wide, and it can get filtered sun. So if you do that, we have got some white by the gates. People were asking if my white by the gate, like, are all white by the gates climbers. It's not a climber. We're training it to be on that espalier. And so when you have a white by the gate, it's going to be that traditional nice big camellia. So we have them. If you want them, I will be adding one of these to the gardens up at the entrance, because I have a gate. So I need to have a white by the gate camellia right there. So that's really fun. The hostas are waking up. So we have got a huge selection of hostas if you were looking for that. My shade people, this is a wonderful evergreen grass for the shade. This is the Everillo grass. Beautiful, nice chartreuse color on it. And it is an evergreen for the shade. You can do filtered sun, morning sun, needs a break from that hot afternoon sun. Then the caramel eucharas, gorgeous plant, really nice, healthy, strong, sturdy. These have not been, were not covered during the frost and the freeze, but you can see right here, my Georgia peaches, they were ahead of time and they were blooming. So the foliage is fine, but what we need to do is just come through here and trim off the blooms, because they were blooming. This was a little bit ahead of time. And just come in here and clean them up. But if you look at this beautiful foliage on it, the plant is great. So that's why sometimes, like, we were worried about plants with new foliage having to cover them because of just simple damage like this. We weren't afraid that they were going to die. We just needed to, you know, protect that new foliage on them. Solomon seal, we have got it, and look at it. Look how fun. This is what Solomon seal does. So it will come up, this is about the height. It naturally does an arc. So this is what it's supposed to do. And then in the early spring, this time of year, it will produce these beautiful little kind of bell-shaped white creamy flowers. It reminds me almost of a snowdrop, and it's on the underside of the stem. They will grow in colonies, I guess would be the best way I would describe it. So you'll have mass plantings of them, and they all arc in the same direction with all the flowers. Beautiful, very nice, does great in the shade, but I have also found that it can take more sun than we think. So wonderful, low maintenance plant that will naturalize, means it spreads, not invasive, but you get a couple of pots, put them where you want. In a couple of years, you're going to have a nice colony that you can then divide and move and expand or give away, whatever you want to do. Oh, peonies. It is about to be peony season, my friends. And these peonies, we have got a whole little selection right here. These all overwintered right here. So these are not started in the greenhouse. They have been here literally since last summer. Now, peonies are considered more sun loving, right? And that's why we moved them over here at the end of the summer, just because they were getting a little bit too much sun. But we have a whole different kind of selection of them. Like this one, like, it has buds all over it. Now, this might be one of those mystery peonies, because unfortunately sometimes when a plant stays in a nursery for a length of time, the tag disappears. So we're going to see when this blooms, or you can just come and just be like, buy a mystery peony from Creekside. But gorgeous foliage on them. We do have some Itos, which are a cross between a herbaceous peony and a tree peony. But there's like Carl Rosenfield, there's the all different ones in here. So if you're looking for peonies, and we've got more of them next door. So hostas. Now, again, these all overwintered right here. We did not cover them. If you have hostas that look like this is frost damage, okay? I do not want you to be freaked out. This particular one is Island Breeze, a beautiful variegated hosta. This is freeze damage, frost damage. And so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna leave it alone, because this foliage was more out and exposed. But look at this guy right here. Exact same hosta, but it was tighter, and so it did not receive any frost freeze damage. So what's gonna happen, just like what right here, is where it got damaged, this is gonna die, and that's okay. The plant's gonna send out brand new growth. So I have some hostas in my garden that did this, and then I have others that were just emerging, and they are perfectly fine. So if you see this at your house, don't freak out. It is not dead, just leave it alone. Just wait until some of that damaged, foliage dies, cut it back, give it a little plant tone, you're good to go, all is well. Now, let's go over. We're going to mosey our way back over here, because there's a lot of fun stuff that I do want to show you. We're going to hit a different direction on the pergola, and then we're going to go, I think we're going to go into the greenhouse. Poor Jerry has to keep up with me. He never knows which way I'm going to turn. Dianthus. Dianthus is a wonderful spring blooming, low growing perennial. You can see how many buds are on this plant. These overwintered outside. So these are nice and hardy. You can put them out, not a problem. You're not gonna have any damage off of them whatsoever. This is the Fruit Punch series, and it's going to be the classic coral. So these are ones that have like what I call a carnation bloom on them. Really nice. Lots of different kinds of Dianthus that we have. Then we've got, look at this plant. It is massive. This is the Midnight Masquerade from Proven Winners. It is a penstemon, and it will do beautiful, really kind of light purple lavender stalks of flowers. And then you're gonna have this beautiful foliage. Definitely gonna be a sun plant. When you have it in the sun, you get that really nice, rich burgundy color to it. Great perennial, and I'll tell you the specs on it here in just a second, because I do know that y'all love to have the specs. It is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. So Midnight Masquerade, a beard tongue, or a penstemon. Really great pollinator attractor for sure. If you like the paniculata phloxes, the nice tall ones, they are coming up and doing really well. This is the Luminary series. This is Opalescence. Opalescence is a very nice soft pink, delicious fragrance. Jerry says the sun's not cooperating with us, but we have lots of different colors. Let's see if I can. Anyway, so you have ultraviolet. You can kind of see really dark, bold, nice light. But they're going to be, all of these are going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. Definitely full sun, and definitely let them spread out so they don't get powdery mildew. They are more resistant to powdery mildew, but still it is a phlox, and you just have to watch it. Pots, and pots. These all on this end are going to be your traditional pottery. They are not aqua pots. You can leave them out year round. We have the full volcanics in all different shapes here, shapes and sizes. If you're looking to do a collection, then you can get like 3 different sizes and put them together. My mama is the queen of that. So like she would, if it were her, she would have these 3, and she would have them in a group here, kind of in a little triangle right here together. And then you can plant whatever you want. You could put like a small hydrangea right here. You could put like a tidbit. You could put a Shasta daisy and you could put some petunias or calibrachoas, right? So you can mix and match however you want to, but it is a nice statement when you have a couple of different pots that are the same pot or the same color paired together. And then I do love these. These are the egg planters from Michael Carr. I just love all the different colors. I just think they're beautiful colors. Again, there's 4 different sizes for these guys and lots of availability on that. More peonies. If those 3-gallon peonies were a little bit too big and too intimidating, then we've got the 1 gallons. So like we've got the Bartzella, which is a beautiful kind of a rare yellow. And this is one of those Ito peonies. So nice dark foliage when it's emerging, and then it'll turn nice green and a beautiful yellow flower. These are going to be hardy from zones 4. It doesn't tell me all the way up. I know we can grow them here, so I would definitely say to an 8 to a 9, zone 4, and this one can be like a 4x4. So lots of different colors. There's pinks. There's Shirley Temple. I love Shirley Temple, a nice soft pink. I think you're getting the point that we have lots and lots of options for you. I have some viewers ask me, they're like, you didn't talk about sunshine ligustrums. Does that mean you don't have any? Yes, we do. I can't hit every single plant that we have in stock. If I did that, this nursery tour would probably be about 3 days long. I don't know if y'all can handle that much Jenny. And so just coming in here into the greenhouse, you can see beautiful kaleidoscope abelias. These are one of those plants we brought in because of the frost and the freeze, because these were not hardened off yet, and we didn't want them to be damaged. Beautiful abelia, nice evergreen, gorgeous color on it, nice and low growing. This is going to be for the south because it is hardy in zones 6 to, I don't know what that would be, to like zone 8, 9 on that, and that's going to be basically like a 3x3. Beautiful plant, but we're just going to walk through here real quick. Gorgeous, whether you're looking for foliage, plum dandy, Dichondra silver falls. These are some more of those early spring plants that you absolutely can plant. These are osteospermums. These are osteos, as I call them, African daisies. Beautiful colors in here, beautiful, brand new. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the Horizon Sunset. New this year. I trialed it last year and loved it. It is such a fun plant. Such unique colors on it. It really is the color of the sunset. Really great. Definitely put them out now. You will find, probably if you're like me, that they bloom wonderful in early spring. When the heat, like the true heat of the summer hits, they'll stop blooming. They're not going to be dead. And then when the cool temperatures come back in the fall, then they start to rebloom. Really nice. And then of course you pair it with the Mini Vista white, listen to me, Mini Vista yellow petunia, just really fun, gorgeous colors. Still have citrus trees. So if you've been into the nursery, there's a big old, come over this way, Jerry. There's a big old fat bumblebee who is quite happy that we have citrus trees in here doing its thing, pollinating. We have, it's just covered in flowers. Those are going to turn into fruit. Smells divine in here. It just has the most delicious fragrance, and it is from these are lemon trees and the Meyer lemons, and then we have 2 lime trees over there. I recently did a video for Proven Winners. We're talking about the cool weather plants, putting them together, and I created this aqua pot. So what it has is the Violet Night Sweet Alyssum. That's that double moon glow osteospermum that I was just telling you about. And then the brand new Aromanth mulberry. So all of these plants are very cool tolerant and will go into summer. It is in an aqua pot. You know, why work harder than you have to, people? So this self-watering container is wonderful. I just did it less than a week ago and it has filled in beautifully. This Violet Night, as you can see, is going to be my trailer. It's going to spill over. Right now, it looks like the osteos are the tallest, but really, in fact, the Nemesia will be the tallest one in the bunch. So lots of beautiful, beautiful color. What I would recommend you not buying right now is your coleus. So coleus loves it hot. It cannot handle like low 30s. It will mid 30s. It will not be very happy. So the coleus you're going to want to wait a little bit on, as are like your pentas. These are all your hot weather loving plants. The euphorbia is going to be a little, it can get weird. So I would say, like, if you're in the, the 50s, maybe the low 40, you're fine. Anything below like mid 40s, you're going to get a little iffy on. Your coffee cups, wait. There are elephant ears for a reason. Elephants like it hot. And so I'm making stuff up, y'all. I've had 1 cup of coffee so far. So wait, vermillionaire. This is one you're going to kind of want to wait a little bit on. The hummingbirds are going to be coming here really soon. They adore these blossoms. This is it. You may look at it and you're like, well, that's not very big. Exactly. Because the hummingbird can get her little beak in there and get all that sweet nectar. So that's a great one. Strawberries can totally go out right now. Basil, hold off on your basil. But here's that alyssum. This is the White Knight, the great one, as is the Laguna Compact Blue with eye. So you have lots and lots of options. So just come on out either to Creekside Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 3, or visit your local garden center, wherever you may be. I know some of you are still covered in snow. Hang in there, or just come south. Just come visit us, and get a little spring fix. We had some folks from, oh gosh, where was it? Indiana, where were they from? Anyway, they were from somewhere. They're like, we get to have spring twice, because they came down here, went down to Charleston, South Carolina, had a great time. They were heading back up home, and they were like, well, when spring comes to our house, we get it for a second time. So, road trip, and we would love to see you. Of course, we're here to help any way that we can. As always, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.